Now that I tried out Street Fighter 6, I can fully say that I'm relieved, because there is one thing about it that I was really worried about. But to explain this, we need to go back to Street Fighter 5. Let me start by saying that I absolutely love Street Fighter 5. I understand it's not the most popular thing to say right now, given how everyone's super excited about 6, but 5 gave me a lot of fun memories. Despite of this, I can acknowledge some of its flaws. There is some gameplay decisions made for Street Fighter 5 that may not be very popular with the majority of the players. V-triggers as a mechanic, crush counters is also another one that a lot of people really don't like, and obviously unreactable EX special moves. But the one thing that I hate the most about Street Fighter 5 is gonna be dashes. Dashes are genuinely hard to deal with in Street Fighter 5. I'm sure like regardless of your skill level, you have gotten hit by the Ryu dash up throw or triple dash into sweep, and it will crush counter you every single time. There is even a ton of videos out there by a ton of creators on how to counter dashes, and you could be an absolute beginner. Side note, I see you Balrog checking out our Mika. Or you could be a world champion and you will still fall for the dash up mix-ups.
Ready with the DP check, target combo, trigger steal there. That medium punch pressure. Just getting down with this pressure, probably looking for a throw. That's stun, that's the round, oh my god!
There are many reasons that dashes are hard to react to in Street Fighter 5. One of the most obvious one is simply speed. There are characters like Chun-Li, Ken, and Rashid who have 15 frames dashes. That's about 250 milliseconds, it's a quarter of a second, and that is just astronomically fast. So reacting to this is obviously difficult, and we're not even factoring in the fact that the consoles will have additional input lag and there's input lag from the monitor, so you don't even have the full 15 milliseconds to react to. In reality, it's much less. And that's why I don't play Street Fighter 5 on PlayStation anymore, because checking dashes is just impossible. Checking dashes turn from being a reaction to simply being a guess. You're guessing on the opponent dashes. And unfortunately, some dashes are just poorly animated in my opinion. The character feels like they're just sliding across the screen, they're not really moving, which makes them even harder to react to, even if they aren't that fast. This will all come together when you consider the fact that for most of the characters, their dash range is effectively their poke range, and because the vast majority of the players can't react, they will try to stick out buttons, and guess what happened next? And that's why I don't think crush counters in theory is a bad mechanic. Most of the crush counters are wave punchable, it's just that you are forced into a more active playstyle because of dashes, and that is what makes crush counters as dangerous as they are. But let's say you're even amazing, right? You can react to dashes. Well, at this point, you're gonna still have to deal with the mental stack of it. And this is a term that kinda popped up with Street Fighter 5. There is a fantastic video by High Fight on this one, but pretty much means that because you're gonna have to look out for the dash, because of how fast it is, even if you can react, you're still gonna be mentally tired because you have to look for the dash. There is also a jump at the same range. There is the threat of, say, standing heavy kick, or like a crush counter button, poke. It's still a lot to look out for. And that's why even the best players will still lose to the dash up throw or dash up button. And that's why Street Fighter 5 is such a stressful game to play, because you have to dedicate a big amount of your concentration to just checking dashes. I have made a video before on why Street Fighter 5 is such a stressful game. I will leave a link to that in the card above. But fear not, because Street Fighter 6 is not just giving us this amazing character. Please Capcom, just put out the Manon trailer. They're also making it so that dashes aren't as crazy in Street Fighter 6, because in that game, as you can see, dashes are a lot shorter, but also buttons are a lot longer, so they're no longer at the same effective range, and you don't have to worry about pokes and dashes at the same time. Another really interesting change is that all of the dashes are slower as well. Something like Luke's dash is now 20 frames instead of 16. That makes it a lot easier to react to. Obviously, we still don't know how effective Drive Rush is gonna be, especially since it will allow the character to combo from stuff like even overheads, but we're gonna have to wait and see how it plays out, and at bare minimum it still does require a resource from the opponent to use. And that is pretty much it for today's video. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment, helps the channel so much. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon, Discord, Twitter and Twitch pages in the description below. Thank you so much for watching and stay safe.